All right, everybody, welcome back to West Coast Weekend, the marathon showcasing speedrunning talent of the West Coast. I am your West Coast host, SmoothOperative, and joining me right now, two wonderful humans, cutieroo and trojandude with Cat Quest 2. Welcome back to the Hotfix. How are you both doing? I see you brought some new friends.
We sure did. Hi, everybody.
Hello. So yeah, I am trojandude 12, and I'm here with cutieroo. And we are going to be bringing you the awesome, wonderful world of Cat Quest 2, the sequel to the original Cat Quest game, which really expanded out a lot of the worlds. And we're going to be showing you co-op, which normally you play through. It's a solo experience, but it actually has local co-op, which they also added into the sequel. And it's a lot of fun. We get to show off some really cool strats. And with us today to help us with commentary, our friends Gumjaw and Miscbits. How are you guys doing?
Hello, hello.
Hey,
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Cool. So as soon as we overwrite our file here on new game, we're going to be starting, and then they're going to take over the commentary while we go through. So if the timer is ready.
Yeah, whenever you are.
Okay. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Go.
All right, good luck.
Woo!
Woo!
All right, welcome to Cat Quest 2, everybody. This is, like Trojan mentioned, a co-op game. As you can see on screen, we've got one catto and one doggo. Rue is going to be playing our yellow cat, and Trojan will be playing the husky fella there on screen. And we are going to be immediately going into the little tutorial dungeon. And I'm going to do my best to explain the basic way this game works. It's very simple. You got a 1-2-3 hit melee combo. And we're going to go up to this tablet here and pick up our spells. The way spells work in this game is you can use them as much as you want. There is absolutely no cooldown, and you get mana back every time you hit an enemy. Their mana bar is a little purple bar under their health on the top right and left of the screen. So they're just going to start quickly moving through the tutorial dungeon, teaches you how to roll, teaches you how to hit stuff, teaches you how to use your Flame Purr and Freeze Paw, those two spells we got there. Now, I have a question for everyone there. What is your favorite? Are you more of a doggo person or are you a catto person? If you're the doggo type of person, which is like my whole style, I want you to spam dog emotes and hashtag team paws.
So here they're going through their first tutorial area. Once they get out of here, they will be in the Kingdom of Felingard. Now, Felingard is home to all of the cats of this world. Cats happen to be my favorite. If you are a fan of cats, I want you to spam all your cat emotes and hashtag Team Claws. Now, when they get here, the first thing that's going to happen is they are going to be instructed to go towards their first quest. But what we're going to do is skip that entirely and go all the way across on this detour to this Forsaken Cave.
And inside the Forsaken Cave, you'll notice we've got some nice big juicy level 99 skelly boys there for us. And what we're going to be trying to do is lure them away from these treasure chests so we can steal the sweet, tasty, juicy goodness that is inside them. The way treasure chests work in this game is if we have aggro, we cannot open the chest, but if we manage to get both our characters out of aggro range, we can open the chest and collect some sweet high-level loot. In this game, it doesn't matter how high-level we or the loot are, we can always put it on. So this is going to give us some nice stat boosts right off the bat. This armor is going to give us defense, which will just reduce the damage we take, which is nice, and will also give us magic. So the magic will increase how much damage our spells do. So while our melee damage will still be doing about the same, our Flame Purr and Freeze Paw will be really, really extremely boosted. So anything here will kill Trojan and Rue in one hit. So you can see they're trying to kite around these guys. That big skeleton king there has a bunch of AoE attacks. You can see that spiky thing on the floor is called the cat trap. There you go. Trojan used the freeze paw to slow them down. We opened up the chest, and you can see they got a second copy of the same item, and the stats kind of glowed green. How the stats work in this game is if you get a second copy of a certain item, you don't actually get two, you get one that just gets leveled up and boosted. So that's unfortunate. That means that Trojan and Cutie are not going to be able to wear an item apiece. So you see Rue's got one on right now, and Trojan is running by himself.
So here they're going to make their second pit stop into this cave. Now this is a level 10 cave normally, but because we stopped to get that high level piece of armor, you're going to see that we're actually just going to melt right through all of the enemies here. That's basically why we make that first pit stop. All of the early game bosses and enemies are just going to be super simple now that we have super high level gear. The reason we stop into this cave specifically, though, too, is it contains the Ranger Axe. The Ranger Axe, and actually all of the Ranger equipment in this game, gives you a faster roll. Rolling in this game is the fastest way to travel. As you can see, they're not just doing it for fun. So getting Ranger equipment is going to be key to getting through most of the areas a lot quicker.
All right, you see we're gonna put our Ranger Axe onto Rue. So now Rue is kitted up super fast. We're gonna walk into this little King's Marker here. You might recognize that map they just dipped into. All the King's Markers are essentially our waypoint system. They always bring you to that little hub world and you can pick where you wanna go from there. So Rue's gonna dash on ahead. You can immediately see the speed difference. It comes from having that one Ranger item. There's a total of 3 Ranger items in the entire game, and we're gonna get 2 guaranteed. So that'll make it so that both of the players are able to move at the same speed as they're rolling around the map. But for now, we just got one cat going faster and the dog behind. And you know what? That's okay that the dog is behind. He's going to be our rear guard. He's going to defend. He's going to go get some treasure in this little maze cave. Hashtag Team Pause.
So in this cave, this is basically our last stop on our detour before we start the main story. We're just gonna run in here, get a bunch of money, get a bunch of experience points, and just level up as much as we can. While we do have high level equipment, the monsters in here still will one-shot us. They'll certainly one-shot our dog because our dog is weak and our cat is strong. Hashtag Team Claws. Now, while we're here, basically in the story right now, we've woken up in this kingdom and we are told that we are kings and our thrones have been usurped. So basically the goal right now is we are collecting as much armor and equipment as we can, and we are going to go learn how to navigate the world so that we can go and get our thrones back. The other thing that you might be noticing is they're splitting up a lot. On their screens, they're seeing this. They have one camera, and they'll oftentimes split up so that they can go collect 2 things at the same time. Once they're done collecting things, they do a quit warp, and they come right back to the beginning of the game, and they're gonna go and do their first mission to meet Kit Kat. Kit Kat is going to be the best character in the game because she is our cat NPC. Hashtag Team Claws. We get there and Kit Kat says, hey, I'm not here right now, I got work to do. And Dog is like, okay, well, I can sniff out where Kit Kat is. She's over here. But she's in trouble. She needs help.
See, if we didn't have that strong dog nose, we would have never found out where she was. Hashtag Team Pause. But right now we're coming into this little cave right now, and this is our side quest tutorial. And Kit Kat's in here. She's gonna say, oh, I got some ore that needs getting. Can you guys go get that done for me? And we're gonna go around, pick up those ores, defeat the enemies as we go, and then make our way out. You can see this is one of the main introductions to spikes. They are completely unavoidable in this section. How spikes work is they do percentage damage. So even when we get a lot of HP, no matter how many items we have, no matter how beefy we are, they will always do, I think it's about 1/4 of your health per hit. So if we take 4 spike hits, we are donezo. And actually, this is a good time to talk about how death works in this game. If one player drops, they will basically be unconscious on the ground, and the other teammate can come and revive them by standing nearby. If both players drop, for example, the other person can't recover them, or they get hit in one big attack, then it's going to be a game over and we're going to restart at our last checkpoint. Now what you just saw on screen here is Kit Kat telling us that she is the blacksmith of this area and she can upgrade only the armor, so our helmets and our chest pieces. Unfortunately, we're not going to be using that at all in this run because that's not useful. We don't need armor. We want attacks to go fast, and the doggo blacksmith is the guy that does all that, so he's the guy we want. Hashtag Team Pause.
So we roll on down here and we meet the cat mages of the arcane head potters. This is basically our central magic hub where we're gonna go upgrade our magic. These cats are basically gonna be the most useful thing in the entire game, hashtag Team Claws, because they're gonna let us upgrade our Flame Purr and our Freeze Paw. These magic spells are gonna be our highest DPS output in the game, and it's fitting that it comes from the cats because the cats are so much stronger and smarter.
Hashtag Team Claws.
So now that we have our spells, we're gonna go out and we have some soldiers who have been sent by the super king of this world, Lioner, and they say, these mages are, getting in our way. We've gotta, oppress them. So we've gotta fight this Mr. Rocky here. We beat him up and the soldiers follow suit. We defeat them, and now we're gonna go back with our mage friends rescued, with our items collected. We are finally set up to go reclaim our throne. This is it, guys. Are you ready? We are in the end game already. It is time to reclaim Felingard in the name of a little yellow cat boy here. So we're just gonna make our way up quickly to the quest giver. There's Kiri. Kiri, by the way, is our Navi of this game. She says considerably less hey yous. There's Liner, there's a big bad guy. We're like, yeah, get back here. We're gonna dethrone you and take her. Oh, wait, no, please come back. No, okay, bye. So Liner buggers off somewhere, and through the sheer power of the dog's nose again, once again saving the day, hashtag Team Paws, we are able to sniff out his trail and follow him around these mountains to where he is going.
Once we get there, though, it turns out that it was a clever trap set up by the Cat King himself. Lioner basically teleports you to this island and says, you'll never dethrone me, I'm gonna kill you. So we quickly dispatch his little minions here, and he's like, oh man, I have to do everything. And it turns out he is completely resistant to all of our attacks. This is kind of just a scripted portion, so we attack him to get our magic refilled, and then we just have to wait until he gets bored of like beating us up, essentially. So we're just gonna hide in the bushes and and then let him get bored. So he's like,
eventually,
hey, I'm bored. I'm gonna leave you on this island to rot and die.
But thankfully, there's this little path here that is only accessible by those with King's blood. And surprise, surprise, us as the Returned Kings, that is us. So we're able to take this little underground path, and we meet up with the first kind of boss, real boss of this game, this ancient statue. And it tells us we need to prove ourselves worthy, and it introduces the little bubble gimmick. We're only going to see this in one other enemy, which is another one of these statues later on. But we just got to wait for the bubble to go down so we can damage it. Since we're all decked out, we are able to do it in one phase, nice and easy. And this is where we learn about the King's Blade. So the big MacGuffin of this game is the King's Blade. It is a sword that is said to defeat any foe. And we're like, you know what? We got a foe that needs defeating. We should go put together this King's Blade. And Kiri shows up and goes, hey, listen, you guys heard about the King's Blade? We should go ask Kit Kat about it. So that is what we are going to do.
We get out here and we're gonna head over to Kit Kat. This is actually one of the interesting parts of the game. You'll notice that they're going through and they're trying to avoid these hedgehogs. The hedgehogs in the overworld will follow you pretty far, and they stop you from being able to take new quests. So they're going to basically be like the most annoying part of the run, and they wind up being the biggest time losses when you like pick up too many and they follow you like all the way to Kiri. Once we get out of there and start that quest, though, Kit Kat's like, hey, I totally forged the King's Blade once. I can do it again, no problem. But you gotta follow me, no reason. Oh, what's this, though? We're being ambushed by squirrel snail things, fire foxes. The fire foxes are just more standard overworld enemies. They cast fire on us. When we get hit by fire in this game, we actually take sustained damage and it slows us down. Just another thing we have to be a little bit careful of. We get here and Kit Kat's like, okay, yeah, this was just a big trick. So, surprise, magic, I'm going to trial you to make sure that you're worthy of holding the King's Blade.
So it's in this little mini dungeon that we get more tests about spikes, and this is where we learned from Kit Kat after we beat her up that the King's Blade was a weapon originally forged to bring peace to the land, but it was so like nuclear level powerful that all it did was cause more war of people fighting over the right to hold it. So it ended up being broken into 3 shards, and if we want to be able to reforge it, we need to go find those 3 shards. And she says the first one is in the King Leonardo ruins, which you just saw pop up on screen. She gives us the key and says, there you go, on your merry way, go collect that first shard.
So essentially at this point, we're just going to roll all the way over to this first trial. We're gonna get trialed a lot in this game. Half of the main quests are basically like people being like, hey, I don't know if you're worthy, so do this trial. If you like being tested, this game is definitely for you.
So inside King Leonardo's trial, we have a little bit of a simple follow the light puzzle that we're going to get through, and just dispatching some enemies to make our way to the end. It is your like beginner dungeon. On our way there, we're going to make a quick pit stop and pick up the ninja katana, which is the only weapon we're going to pick up in this game intentionally. And what that weapon does is it has a built-in 20% crit chance. So as we level that up, as that gets better, it is going to be very, very nice for us because, you know, crit chance is good. So we've got some extra RNG damage built in. There's the king shard you see on your screen. And here is our big dragon boy. He is a fire dragon, and his little fire foxes with him. They're all immune to fire, so that flame fur spell that Rue has is going to do absolutely no damage to him. Meanwhile, the freeze paw that Trojan is rocking is going to be doing double damage. If you note on the floor under the dragon, this is where you can really see the attacking system of this game. You see the big red ring filling up? That's showing kind of like when enemies are going to attack, and they will hit everything in that ring with their swing when they attack. So all enemy attacks are just AoE YOLO attacks. So, with the dragon down, we collect our first king shard, and every time we get a king shard, we actually unlock a royal par, and this royal par has is basically Sanic speed, I guess. You can see now when we roll, we glow blue, and we do damage to anything we go through. That's nice. Hashtag Team Sanic.
So once we get out of there, we're greeted by Kiri, who's like, oh my god, that's so cool, you collected the king shard. Come with me quickly. And we're gonna totally ignore Kiri and make another detour to the cave just conveniently located north of here, Whisk Cove. Whisk Cove is going to have 2 checks that we want to grab. There is a spell in here which is guaranteed to be Berserk, which ups our DPS. Like we were saying before, DPS is the thing we're going to care about the most throughout the run, so Berserk is the most essential spell in the game right now for us. The other check is that monster chest on the right here. The monster chest is going to contain a random item, and there is a 16.7% chance that it will be another ranger item. And we didn't get a ranger item, so we're not going to roll faster, but we did get an extra ninja katana, so we do still get an upgrade to our weapon. That chest, it's not always the check we want, but even when it's not the check we want, it's usually pretty good. So it's worth grabbing. So we grab this King's Marker and teleport right back to the beginning where we're gonna go greet Kit Kat and Kiri.
So at this point in the game, we're gonna show the shard to Kit Kat, and she's gonna be like, sweet, you guys got the shard. Unfortunately, that's the only one that we know is here on Felingard. And also, I forgot to tell you this, but there's actually another blacksmith who helped me make the King's Shard, or the King's Blade, sorry. And his name is Mr. Hoto Doggo, and he lives in the Dog Kingdom of, I guess it's called Lupus, or the Lupus Empire. And that's where we're gonna go right now. So we got a little bit of escort quest as Kit Kat takes us across the, I don't know, the countryside, the lush green fields of Felingard, and we make our way to the greatest country in this game, the land of the doggos, the home of the rough stuff. I don't know, that didn't sound great. Ignore I said that last thing. Hashtag Team Pause, let's go to the Dog Kingdom.
The home of all bark and no bite. I guess. I don't know.
Hey,
Just trying to come up with something.
So Kit Kat's like, this is as far as I can take you. This is the convenient bridge connecting the two countries. Not sure why we didn't smash it, as dogs are on the other side of it. But we go in here and we're like, cool, cakewalk to the dog kingdom. Nothing could possibly go wrong now that we're here. Oh no, it's another trap by Lioner. So this fight is basically the same as the one we did before, but they're going to try and fight these jesters while moving them down towards the left. At the end of this fight, there's going to be another like kind of a ranged cutscene where we have to pull Lioner all the way to the end of this bridge. So they're going to do their best to fight towards the left. We're basically going to pull Lioner down to these red lines here. Fun fact, in-game, they are red lines. The devs have actually just confirmed that all of the things you're seeing on the screen, like on the map, the lines, the writing on the floor, they see that in-universe too. So the red lines somehow prevent Lioner from getting by, and we're able to make a quick escape.
And so here we are, finally, in the kingdom of the doggos. Welcome to the Lupus Empire. So you can see Hotto Doggo's little hot dog shack over there. We're gonna go make our way over and, see what's up. See if maybe he can help us find this second king shard. Please, as we go, take a look at the lush desert countryside of the Lupus Empire. And approaching Hotto Doggo's house, we find that there's a note on his door saying he is also out gathering supplies. And we're like, okay, let's go find him. But when we approach the wall of Lupus here, the soldiers are like, halt, none may pass. And we're like, but we're a dog. And they're like, but you have a cat. And we're like, no, we don't. He's our prisoner. And they're like, okay, we believe you, but we're not letting you by. And we're like, shucks. Okay, what are we gonna do now? So we talked to Kiri, and Kiri's like, you know what? We should resort to bribery. And we're like, yes, that is the idea. So we ask around town, and they tell us where we can find some dog biscuits to bribe these guards. But unfortunately, the dog biscuit vendor is selling them for 1 million gold. And we're like, you know what? I think we're gonna need to double down on that bribery. So we're gonna go into this little cave here and find a sentimental heirloom that belongs to this merchant, so we can bribe the merchant to give us the dog biscuits to then bribe the guards so we can get past the wall. And here we are.
Yeah, bribery is a crime fit for a king. So good, we decided to do it a second time. This is another good example of them using like the fact that there's two of them to try and like lure the enemies away from the thing we need to interact with. Because again, as long as the enemies are not aggroed, we can do whatever we want on the overworld. So instead of fighting most things, we're gonna be like routing it around so that we don't have to like interact with them. That hedgehog just aggroed us. Again, that's like the biggest time loss we deal with. But we get back, we give the dog bone to the guy, and he's like, hey, that's cool, here's some dog biscuits. We go up, give the dog biscuits to the guards, and they're like, ooh, lunch break, time to get out of here. And we are now successfully past the guards here.
All right, so we talked to Kiri, and Kiri's like, okay, let's go up ahead and see if we can scout out where Hotto Doggo might be. And you can see we got all these little cactuses and these animate cactuses. The animate cactuses move really fast, so getting aggroed by them is super, super bad. They're one of the most annoying enemies in this game. So we look around, and now we're introduced to the dog usurper king. This is Wolfen the Labrathor. And whereas Lioner ruled by sheer force of power, Wolfen leads by fear, and all his soldiers are quite terrified. And when we show up, we're like, hey, have you seen Hotto? And they're like, a white dog and a yellow cat, you're wanted, get him! And we're like, no thanks. And so we beat them up, and they eventually tell us where Hotto is, which is apparently like 100 feet to the left. So we're gonna go that way and meet the greatest, the most decorated, the most beautiful samurai and hot dog themed character you have ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, please, Mr. Hotto Doggo. And so he challenges us to a fight to prove our worth and our kingliness. And you can see he throws up this little tornado effect in the fight. While we're in that tornado, we just take constant damage, and it continually inflicts hit stun on us. So we want to be able to kill him in as few cycles as possible and get in and get out, you know, standard boss fight stuff where he's invincible for a bit of time. So we got them there in 2 phases, which is, I think, the quickest you can do at this point. And we're just going to kill that little cactus there, stopping us from talking with him. And he's going to say, ah, I smell the king's blood in your veins. Follow me, and I'm going to tell you more. So we're going to follow him back to his hot dog shack. And once we get in there, I want you guys to pay attention to the decoration of his little hot dog shack. Just look around for all the nice little visual touches the guys put into this game. The Gentle Bros, the devs of this game, have so many little visual features. They did such a good job with the puns and everything. Mwah.
Oh, and the hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
So we get in here, and Hato is like, yes, I helped forge the King's Blade, and I hid a King Shard actually north of here. Hato also explains that he is the weapons vendor. He can upgrade all of our equipment. We're going to use him extensively because we want to up our DPS again. We get out, and we're like, okay, let's go get that King Shard. We're going to make another detour real quick. And this will be, I believe, our last detour of the run. We are going to go to the west side of this country, and we're going to pick up a spell, and we're going to pick up a ton of money. The spell that we're going to be going to grab is Gravaruf. Gumjaw, do you want to explain a little bit about what Gravaruf does?
Yeah. So Gravaruf is a utility spell. It does absolutely no damage. But what it does is it drops a little black hole on the ground, and any enemies nearby will get sucked towards the center of it. Once again, it does not do any damage, doesn't kill anything, but it's a really strong utility for 2 reasons. One, in fights with a lot of enemies, we can clump up all those enemies, and then when we swing our weapons, we get to hit like 4, 5, 6 enemies at the same time. Bonus damage, gotta go fast. Second, like you saw before, we've had a couple instances where we need to lure enemies away from certain things so we can interact without having to fight them. Now with Gravaruf, we can just drop that black hole somewhere off in the distance, pull all the enemies away, and then go interact with what we want to interact with, hazard free. So accidental detour there into the ruins, and now they're going to be heading into the ultimate stash. And this is another good example of where they can use the co-op abilities to split, where one is going to come down and grab a little key that's hidden off in the middle of nowhere. See if Rue can find the key. I can see it bobbing on screen there. Hey, there we go. So we get the key, and then Trojan is going to turn around and make our way to the exit. And this key normally has a bunch of like riddle puzzle type things that you need to follow in order to find it. But since we know where it is, we can just roll straight towards it. And that's going to give them access to the hidden stash.
Now here in the hidden stash, there's another like kind of mini boss here, this level 99 Skeleton King. Normally you would have to actually beat it in order to get all of this money here. But because they have Gravaruf now, they can actually just get it to one side of the map and then knock it away, get all the treasure, loot it, and then get away. This would not be possible without Gravaruf. So now that they've gotten Gravaruf here, they've gotten all this money, they're going to get another waypoint down here, teleport back to the east side, and then continue the main story like normal. But before they go into the next area, they're just going to upgrade their weapon, and you'll see at that point, like, we are just going to melt through all of the enemies. Our DPS is going to be so high. It makes that entire detour, despite the fact that it like takes about like a minute and a half or 2, it makes that whole detour super worth it because it's going to save us time for every single fight for the rest of the game.
All right, so they're going to make a little pit stop at Hot Doggo right now, and you're going to see we've got like $16,000 that we're going to be able to put into our sword. We're not going to put all the money into it right now, or maybe they are. I don't know what they're at. They're going to do something. Yeah.
Actually,
dumping all of it into it. Cool.
Be.
So you see the weapon damage there went from like 40 or 18 or whatever it was to over 120. So they're just going to cleave through everything like butter. Now, much like we had in Felingard, this is the Wolfhauser's trial, King Wolfhauser's trial, and there is our second shard. You can see that Wolfen is already there. We're like, oh my god, we gotta rush and get to him before he takes it. Now I'm gonna give you a bit of a spoiler here. That is an illusion. That is all a ruse. We're gonna get there and we're gonna fight a fake Wolfen, and it's gonna turn out he already escaped with that king shard. But there's gonna be a little messenger that comes up and delivers us this bad news, and he asks us not to rough him up once he delivers the unfortunate news of our bamboozle. So guys, if you'd like us to save this messenger, I'd like you all to spam Team Paws and your dog emotes. If you'd like us to rough up the messenger, this is where you're gonna have to spam Team Claws. Alrighty? Team Claws and Cats, if you'd like to slay the messenger, rough him up, shoot the messenger, whatever you want to call it. And Team Paws, if you'd like to spare our humble doggo, who is only acting out of fear, trying to make sure his family has food to put on the table. Team Paws, if you would like to spare such a noble doggo. Meanwhile, they're going through the dungeon trying to get some of the keys. You can see they can use the ability that they can split up to go get some treasure that wouldn't be viable in the single player route. And they may also do a little detour. I don't know if they're gonna do it. You guys do the little hidden detour? You can still do that?
No.
No? Okay. They are not going to do a detour. And instead, they are going to move right to the end where we're going to go to the boss fight. I'm seeing a lot of Team Claws here. That is, frankly, unforgivable. We need some Team Paws here. Where are the doggos at? So here we go into the fight with Wolfen. And Wolfen's gimmick is that he is resistant to magic. So like where Liner is resistant to physical, Wolfen is the magic doggo. And so our newly upgraded katana is just going to really chunk through him. Especially being boosted by Berserk, which is just a flat multiplier on our physical damage. So there we... Oh, pardon me. Sorry. So there he goes. We defeat the illusion. The King Shard disappears. And here comes our lowly little messenger to tell us that Team Paws? I'm seeing Team Paws on screen now, but it was Team Claws earlier.
Team Paws, we'll give it 1 second. I'll give it 5 seconds.
3,
Team Paws or
2,
Team Claws?
1. I'm seeing more Team Paws.
I see more Team Paws, yeah. We gotta save this messenger.
Then we'll leave the messenger alive. We love
Team
puppies.
Paws.
Chat, you have
That
failed
noble
me
doggo
and
will
Team
come
Claws.
to us in our need.
So we get out of there, and Wolfen is like, ha ha ha, the whole thing was a trap. And Hado Doggo is like, ha ha ha, I saw your trap, and I counter it with my own trap. And Hado uses shinobi magic to teleport us out of there. Now, keep in mind that Hado has shinobi magic that can teleport us across a continent. That's going to be relevant later. So we stop talking to him, and we talk to Kiri, and Kiri's like, hey, so we gotta go actually find the real King Shard, because I guess Wolfen has it. And Hado is like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. You should go fight Wolfen, but be careful for the canine. They're gonna attack you. So this is a canine here. They essentially have like the same powers as Wolfen, but they're a lot weaker, as you can see by how quickly we dispatch them. Hado is like, oh no, the canine have found us, and they are about to trap you and guard the desert path leading to the country. Now, to the capital. Now, we already did this detour earlier and opened these teleport spots, so a really convenient part of the way we have routed our detours is instead of running through all the canine and having to either fight or avoid them, we're just gonna go north and teleport right past all of the canine. We don't have to deal with any of them, thankfully. We still do have to deal with these cactuses, which are kind of the worst enemy in the game, hashtag team bad cactus. We get to the other side, and we are now to the capital. There is one more canine that they're gonna have to try and avoid that can aggro right in front of the door here. If they're careful, they can avoid it, but if they wind up aggroing it, they'll have to fight it, and it loses like 2 or 3 seconds. And they got through safely.
All right, so the entrance to the capital, or the wolf, the throne of Lupus, as it's called, actually leads into the Zero Dimension, which is kind of like an important alternate plane that we see a lot in the Cat Quest games. And Wolfen is seen there talking to Alias, the big bad of this game, and this is him real now, and he makes some clones for us to fight. And you can see where Graveruff really comes in handy. By dropping Graveruff, we can lure all the clones together and really make sure that we're doing maximum damage. Now, we had a bit of an unfortunate thing there. When you have all the enemies clumped up together, that means they're all overlapping their attacks, they're all overlapping their spells, and if you engage them in the wrong order, it's very easy to accidentally desync their attacks so that you actually have like no real good way to get in and do damage. Now, the little fake Wolfins are actually doing significantly less damage than the main Wolfin, but it's still a hazard, and especially for Trojan, who has absolutely no armor and is just walking around with a ninja katana, he can die in pretty much one hit from anything. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that all the spells are always the exact same. So the vertical spell that Wolfin casts will always be the ice spell, the horizontal spell will always be lightning, and so on and so forth. All the spells in this game follow the same shape to dictate their type, so that's how we know what's what. After we defeat Wolfin, Kiri shows up, uses some more magic red lines to trap Wolfin. We're going to take the King Shard, unlock Power Smash, which basically just gives us a little lightning bolt and boosted damage on our crits, and then away we go.
So we just trap Wolfin and some more red lines, exactly that, red lines. That also was a really good example of like why we get Gravaruf specifically in pretty much every single category as early as we can. Gravaruf there was not only like making the fight easier by grouping all the enemies together, but basically when we swing our sword once and hit multiple instances of Wolfin, then what happens is we actually get 3 attacks in. So Gravaruf, while it doesn't directly deal damage, it is tripling our DPS. It is the maximum damage spell that we basically get in essence.
So we reunite Hotto Doggo and Kit Kat, who up until this point have been very reluctant to interact with each other because, you know, as we all know, cats are weaker, and Hotto Doggo, the great noble hot dog samurai, shouldn't have to worry about interacting with weaker cats. But, you know, we're taking a bullet for the team here, #TeamPause, and we're unlocking the secret map that will lead us to the 3rd shard of the King's Blade, which leads us to Kern Cave here. And you can see these bats. These bats are also very annoying because they have a very, very, very short attack timer. That little red ring when they're attacking fills up super fast, and it's easy to get caught out and hit. And we are about 10 levels under-leveled for this point of the game right now, so Trojan, as usual, will die in one hit, and even Rue, her armor is starting to plateau at this point, because this is still the armor we got at the start of the game. Now, thankfully, we have Gravaruf, and you can see we can just use Gravaruf, pull all those bats out of the way, and go down and interact with the little teleport rock thing, which leads us into this area, and this gives us our next clue as to where the 3rd shard of the King's Blade is.
So we get out of this area, and the hint is telling us to go to the west. If you have enough life, you can actually just go through those thorny trees there. They'll deal damage. But if you don't, you can actually just go north around this little mountain here. There's kind of a secret path there. It saves a second to just go through and take a bunch of damage, but they're going to be a little bit safe here for marathon safety.
Hey, Misbits.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Our next shard is just over here across this little body of water. If you needed to cross a body of water that's, I don't know, about 100 feet wide, like beach to beach, what kind of method would you use to do that?
Okay, so in this theoretical universe you're saying, right, I have to get across this body of water, and we're next to a boat town, right? Like a fishing village?
Yeah, you're like right beside a fishing village, tons of boats, yeah.
Okay, and we go down there, and we realize the governor is there, and we're friends with the governor, right?
Yes, we are friends with the governor who runs the fishing village with the boats, and we need to cross a body of water.
Okay, and he's in charge of all of that stuff, and we can actually, like, just take one of these boats, right?
Yeah, the boats are totally free to use.
Well, clearly, I would just learn how to walk on water. That seems like the most logical progression here.
You know what? I think you're right. I think that is clearly the most logical route that we need to take in this little adventure.
Yeah.
Joking aside, for whatever reason, we need to learn how to walk on water here, and I'll let Misfits kind of explain that bit.
Yeah, so essentially what's happening here is the governor is the great grand governor of the first governor of this town who invented water walking. The first governor actually teaches us how to water walk in the first game. So this is a little bit of an homage to the first game. So we are collecting the pieces of the first governor's diary that sort of explains how water walking works. The last page was revealed to us through some mystic spell, so we are following the diary entry to this bay cave over here, which is this hidden cave outside of the city. We get down here and we're going to collect that page, and it's going to reveal to us some mysterious portal to another dimension. Again, like, it's just another trial that we're basically about to face. If you like being trialed, like, this really is the game for you. Every quest is just like either a trial or a plot twist, and it's like really fun. Yeah, we get that pretty easily. We're just like avoid all the enemies. The spikes in here can be a little bit annoying because they get activated when one person steps on it. Luckily, they didn't have it down there. We talked to the grandson governor, and he's like, hey, that's cool that you got all the diary entries. Here's a thing.
So I will note here that the only reason that we need to learn how to walk on water is because we have this cat with us who is so afraid of the water and doesn't want to interact with it. If we were two dogs, we could easily just doggy paddle our way across. So I think this is easily 1 point for #TeamPause. But you know, we're a team, we're co-kings, so we're gonna go out of our way and accommodate our cat buddy here. And as you can see, we are creating this portal that's going to lead us to the testing dimension. And we're going to encounter the old governor. And I'm going to give a reluctant +1 point to Team Claws here just because of this beefy governor and his sweet mustache. Like, I'm sorry, even though I am a dog devotee, any cat with that amount of mustachioidness deserves some acknowledgement. So 1 point for Team Claws. I would
also like to acknowledge the sweet anchor tat that the first governor has. It really accentuates that broom handle of a mustache. So here we get a really cool boss. It's similar to the one from before, but it's a lot stronger. You can see that the armor there is like really plateauing. We take a lot of damage from individual hits, but we get through it pretty easily still. The first governor is like, cool, you beat that big beefy robot, now you gotta beat a big beefy governor. So we fight through the governor. This fight's actually a lot easier. I don't know why the trial was in this order specifically, but I'm not going to question the methods of my beefy governor friend. We get through him and he's like, hey, you've passed the trial, you are worthy. So here, take water walking. And if you've ever wondered what water walking looks like, it kind of looks like this egg.
#Team Egg.
#Team Chicken.
Oh no, now we're going into deep mental territory. So after we get water walking, the new governor gives us a dumbbell just in case it doesn't work. We sink to the bottom of the ocean and he can have a plausible deniability. But we come to the King's Mark and we're gonna do our last big detour of the game. And that is going to be going to the Lonely Cave, which is like the super dungeon of this game that houses one tiny unit of a hedgehog who is level 200 with almost every spell in the game, and he will easily one-shot us. But thankfully, we have this handy-dandy thing called Graveruff. So we're just going to pull him off to the side and go to loot 2 of the 3 chests, the only 2 that we can open without killing him. And we're going to get the Jester Cap and the Jester Suit. And these 2 items are the highest drop rate items in the game, and by, well, I guess not drop rate, drop level. So the way this game works is items that you pick up are a quarter of the level of the area you're in, and since this is the highest level area in the game, those items drop at level 50, and so we don't have to spend any money leveling them up. In addition, they're also just straight up the best. They give us attack and a damage and a passive that increases our attack speed. So they Rue right now is just a lean, mean cat blending, or cat who blends, machine. But she's now also a glass cannon. No more armor. Trojan actually has the armor on right now. We're just gonna make him a little beefy. And that brings us into this next fight for the third shard. This is an ice dragon. You can see the ice dragon is using that tornado that Hotto was using before. So whenever that's up, we're not going to be able to attack. So it's very, very important that we don't stand in the way. And also, because it's an ice dragon, if it hits us with any of its spells, we're going to get slowed. So that was a really good fight. That fight can go downhill super sideways. Give us some dog claps in chat. I know you guys can't shout into our microphones, but you know, show some support. That fight can go sideways quick.
Yeah, that fight was super clean, super close too. I was holding my breath.
So
we get out of there.
Having a moment. I was like, ah.
No, that was perfect.
Oh yeah. Perfectly
We
scary.
get out of there, and we're like, hey, we got all 3 pieces of the King's Blade. Like, we can forge the blade now. But Hotto is being super unreasonable because he's a dog who doesn't think things through very much. #Team Claws. And because of that anger and frustration, they get pulled into the 0 dimension where they're ambushed by Alias and the 2 usurpers. This is the point where we get the reveal that it turns out we've been fighting ourselves the whole time. It turns out that essentially we are actually from an alternate timeline, and we were pulled into this timeline because the only way to defeat the usurpers was to use the King's Blade, but only a king could use it. So we needed kings from a different dimension to come and reclaim the thrones. So we're trapped in the 0 dimension now with that new information. And all of our NPC characters have basically these like shadows of themselves, which is basically like their depression incarnate. So we're gonna go and we're just gonna like destroy their depression, which is totally fine and cool. I wish I could do that sometimes in real life, but doing it in a video game is also fun.
Have you tried getting a ninja katana? I think that might be the secret.
I've not tried getting a ninja katana. I'm off to Amazon.
Continuing the trap in the 0 dimension, we have to go through this tiny little maze, which is pretty much just a U shape to solve it, so it's nice and easy to remember. And we encounter Kit Kat and Hotto Doggo with their evil depression selves. And once again, we are going to apply Ninja Katana to depression in order to save our buddies, but now we have to fight them at the same time. So Hotto Doggo has his little tornado, and Kit Kat has her healing spell, which was completely irrelevant in the first fight, but is actually somewhat annoying now because she can heal Hotto at the same time. After we defeat the 2 depression elementals, Kit Kat and Hotto finally decide that, you know what, maybe being a cat isn't so bad, and maybe being a dog is actually super cool. #Team Paws. And through the power of friendship, we access Kingdom Hearts. No, we just opened that door, and that lets us leave. And we're able to exit the 0 dimension, which, fun fact, was meant to be a permanent prison for us. So we're actually going to be leaving now, and Alias and Lioner and Wolfen will actually think we are trapped here forever. So now we've got a bit of a surprise on our hands. But unfortunately, we actually come out on this island, and since they stole all our king shards, they also stole all our kingly powers, including water walking. So we're kind of stuck on this island without the ability to water walk, so I guess we're going to have to go explore.
You know, it would be convenient
place?
if we were stuck on this island with some sort of ninja shinobi who had teleportation powers. But, you know, because we're not stuck on this island with a ninja shinobi with teleportation powers, we'll have to find another way off. And it turns out that the other way off that we find is, you guessed it, more trials. So we go into each of these caves, and they each have a trial for us, which basically just makes us read these tombstones in order to get really nice supportive messages. And those supportive messages are going to reveal a key to the tomb of the first Cat King. These trials actually can be a little bit scary because there's lots of like spikes and stuff between them. And like we were saying before, the spikes just deal 1/4 of your damage no matter what level you're at. So they're going to be taking some safety saves in order to make sure that they don't just randomly die on the island.
So fun fact, this island that they're on now was originally planned to be the starting area of the game. The devs have said that this was their initial little tutorial place, but as the story progressed, they realized that it was be better used later on at this point in the plot. So that's where it is, and that's why it looks kind of so simple. That's why you don't see any monster chests in these dungeons. That's why all the rooms are pretty small. It was actually meant to be the tutorial. So these little markers we're picking up were meant to be, you know, little tutorial bits telling us about stuff. There you go. Cool stuff.
Good provision.
There we go.
And so with, go ahead.
We pass the trials and we get into Felingard's tomb and we're like, hey, this is the tomb of the first Cat King. Like, there must be something cool in here that can explain to us how to get our powers back, right? So we get in there to find the secret, and it's a supportive message about how friendship is the most important thing in your life. And we're like, you know what? I can get behind that. That was so supportive and nice that I think I remembered how to walk on water.
We take those.
We take those moral victories around here.
So with our water walking restored, we still don't have the king shards. We just have our water walking. We are going to make our way back to the mainland, and this is where it comes back into play, the fact that Alias and Lioner and Wolfen think we are trapped in the zero dimension. We have the opportunity now to get the jump on them. We're gonna go rendezvous with Kit Kat and Hotto Doggo, and they're gonna say, okay, you know what? Head up to the Catpital where Lioner is stationed and spy on him. Maybe we can see what they're doing now that they think we're, you know, gone. And we mosey on up there, and it turns out that Lioner is not satisfied with his rule over the Cat Kingdom. He wants to rule the entire world. And so he is planning to invade Wolfen through the zero dimension, since both their castles are connected to the zero dimension. And we're like, okay, that's cool. They want to kill each other. Great. Let's see what Wolfen's doing. And we head over to the Lupus Empire, thankfully using our handy dandy King's markers, i.e. our waypoints.
So we go over to the Lupus Kingdom, and we're gonna go, now that we're done spying on Lioner, we're gonna go spy on Wolfen and see what he's up to. Now, Wolfen is like, ha ha ha, I'm so glad I took care of those two weakling kings and trapped them in the zero dimension. But I know Lioner is gonna try and attack me. So I'm gonna set up an ambush for Lioner. And when he attacks me, I'll be ready for him. Then he looks over and he's like, oh, is it them? Whatever, I don't care. Those two are weaklings anyway. And he kind of leaves us alone after somewhat mentioning the tomb of the first Dog King. So we're gonna go talk to Hotto and ask if he knows anything about that. But on the way, we're gonna just say real quick, hi Cthulhu, bye Cthulhu, hashtag Team Claws. There's no valid run of Cat Quest where we don't say hi and bye to Cthulhu. So we get over here.
Is a requirement in the rules?
Yeah, absolutely. We get over here, and Hotto's like, yeah, I totally know about the tomb of the first Dog King. In fact, I actually have a key to the tomb. Would you believe it? And so we take the key from him, and we're just going to run over there. This section of the game is mostly just running. Run.
Speaking of running.
Is it running or rolling?
It's
Mostly rolling.
Rolling.
Yeah. Am I doing it good?
Yeah.
We Zelda now. All right.
I'm liking the automata. Yeah, that was good.
This section to get to King Lupus's tomb is fairly straightforward. There's not really a dungeon. It's more of kind of a maze that we get through. So moving our way quickly through this obstacle course, we arrive at the tomb of King Lupus. Once again, it looks like the other tomb we found, except now angled to the left instead of the right. And we're going to talk to that tombstone, and it says it's not what you can take, but you can give. And we're like, yeah, more moral victories. We have all our powers back. That is super duper sweet. And one other power that we're going to gain is the ability to quit warp. Just kidding. That's just a convenient little warp that we have in this particular moment, because it quick warps us back exactly to where the next quest starts. And we have our powers back. We have our water walking. We're still missing the king shards, and that kind of sucks. But Kiri's like, hey guys, hold up. I've got a plan. You ready? Right? And this ties into the moral story of Cat Quest. So Cat Quest, the moral is be friends or else. Right? I want you to let that sit in. Think about what it means. Think about what Kiri's plan might be. And then in a moment, I will bring you through the most amazing.
Goop.
Give us a
memento.
Just one moment. It's fine. Everything's
if
fine.
you're not friends,
not seeing this right
You
now.
shatter the universe, and everything just falls apart. We are now floating in the abyss. Now I need everyone at home. Hold up your hands. We need spirit bomb power now. Channel your energy to Rue and Trojan so we can get this back online.
That's never happened before for us.
Our streams
During that
our
part,
stream
no,
view
don't,
has
don't,
crashed
don't,
as well.
don't.
by the way.
Okay, we're not gonna do that. Okay.
I don't want to do that again. We'll figure that out later. But I don't want to do that again.
Our stream view has crashed as well, by the way. Reshare on Discord when you have it open.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to restart the. Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Yeah, sure. It was great. It was a great.
Keep channeling your energy. Exactly.
There you go. Done.
Hey, give energy. There we go.
Yeah,
We're back.
supposed to go up. It's fine.
Okay.
Up we go. Because
Okay, that was a little.
if you didn't catch
we
that,
are back though. So Chad, what do you think Kiri's plan was?
Kiri's plan was we're gonna go to Lioner's castle and we're gonna kill him, and then we're gonna go to Wolfen's castle and we're gonna kill him because they don't want to be our friends, and therefore death. And that's what we're doing.
happened before.
Yeah, Kiri's very bloodthirsty. The very first quest we got was, hey, let's go kill Lioner. And now the very last few quests we're gonna get is, hey, let's go kill Lioner. The game really takes a full circle here. But I mean, like, we're gonna kill him with the power of friendship this time. We weren't good enough friends in the beginning of the game. And for that reason, we weren't able to actually damage him. So this fight coming up here is actually like one of the scariest fights in the game. For me personally, this is like where most of my runs die. Lioner himself is actually not that difficult, but there are a lot of ads in this fight, and they are all going to be attacking at the same time, basically. So we're going to try and use Graveruff in order to get them all into one big ball. But if we mistime too many rolls, or even just one roll, we can get hit by like 4 or 5 different attacks at the same time. And even with upgraded armor, like, it will seriously down us almost instantly. Lioner himself is actually also mostly resistant to all physical attacks. So once they have all the ads down, they're going to actually switch to wands. Now, wands in this game, we don't use them all the time because they are slow to attack, and you might notice that their health totals are now also cut in half. When Lioner's alone, this is not that big of a deal because we can basically just Graveruff, wand attack, Graveruff, wand attack over and over again until he's dead. We get through that first phase and he's like, how can you beat me? And we're like, it's because we're good friends. And he's just like, I don't need friends. I'll just kill you alone. And he goes into this phase 2. Now, casually, this fight is actually also really annoying because you get slowed down while this spell is active and it will deal like damage over time to you. But because they can just Graveruff and then like use wands at a distance, rinse and repeat, like this fight winds up being not that bad overall. Once we get through it, they're going to get a level, so they're actually going to change back to their swords before they finish the quest. That way, when they level up, they'll get a life refill before they go to the next fight. And yeah, that was a very clean fight, actually.
And Lioner dies, and we have a little bit of a cutscene here where, you know, Kiri reveals that before they were corrupted by Alias, Kiri was actually the advisors of Lioner and Wolfen, much like she is advising us right now. So this, storyline-wise, this is quite a sad moment because Kiri has lost what was once upon a time, you know, her friend. And that's sad. Hashtag Team Sad.
So we're done killing Lioner, and now it's time to go kill Wolfen. Now, Wolfen set up an ambush for for Lionel, but we are basically gonna fall for that ambush. Before they head over there, though, they're just going to do one last upgrade of their weapons as a pit stop.
Not gonna crash the game.
Yeah, don't crash, don't crash.
Don't crash. I think I know what happened there.
We're good.
Okay.
So yeah, in the very beginning of the game, you saw like we were doing like 18 damage. Now we have like almost 200 damage on our weapon here. They're gonna take a quick safety save here. This is literally just for marathon safety. Normally we would like skip that in a world record attempt. They go in there and, oh look, it's Wolfen. Let's go attack him. Surprise trial. You thought we were done with trials.
So in this trial here, this is Wolfen's great plan to stop Lioner's army. I mean, if it was just a bunch of Gumbies, I could see how that might be annoying. But we come in here to the final fight against Wolfen, and it's 3 phases. First phase, it's him with his canine companions, and they all throw out tons of magic. So we're gonna really use Graveruff here, keep them all smashed on top of each other, and this is where you can see having that beefy ninja katana is really going to come into play because he is weak to physical attacks. So we are doing so much extra damage to him with that katana, but we have to watch out for all his magical attacks. He will have every spell in the game by the end of this fight. So phase 2 is going to be pretty simple. He calls over his canine and starts chewing them out, #team pause, for their poor behavior, and they decide to quit on him. Unfortunate team pause. And he decides, okay, you know what? More clones. And he summons these clones, but he doesn't tell them to attack. He tells them, like, let's play a shell game and just stand there and see if they attack the right one. Questionable strategy. Doesn't really pay off. And that leads us into phase 3, where he has every single spell in the game, including Celestial, which you'll see is this giant orbital laser thing that starts shooting down. That spell can kill us during the final cutscene if he drops it in the spot where the cutscene happens before he dies, which is about where we're standing right now. So let's hope for the best. Well, this should be interesting. Okay, so you can see the screen shaking. That's the Celestial going off. And yeah, so you can see it was just north of us. That could have killed us during that cutscene. We got lucky. Good for us. And here, with Wolfen deceased, Alias shows up and says, you know what? Maybe unity between cats and dogs isn't as bad as I thought. You guys should come meet me in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. #West Coast. And
Exactly,
we can
yeah.
talk about
Shout
this.
outs.
Shout out.
And this is the final time I'm gonna need you guys to channel your inner catto or doggo. At the end of this fight, we are gonna summon the King's Blade for realsies, and you guys need to determine who is going to wield the King's Blade. #Team Paws if you want the dog to wield the King's Blade, and #Team Claws if you want the cat to wield the King's Blade. Just spam nonstop until we get to the point in this fight where the King's Blade appears. Go.
Come on, Team Claws, you failed me last time. Let's pull it back. So we
Remember,
get
we have
into
100
the
points.
0 dimension. We get into the 0 dimension with Alias, and he's like, hey, you should totally join me because you're real strong. And we're like, nah, that doesn't sound very cool. And he's like, all right, well, fine. I'll just kill you, I guess. So we go into the final fight here. The basic mechanic of this is that there are hands that are going to be attacking us, and the eyeball is the thing that we actually have to defeat. So the dog is going to kite around the hands here and keep them away from the eyeball and the cat, while the cat deals all of the damage to the eyeball. We defeat him,
Team
and
Claws won. Team Claws won.
Team Claws!
Yeah, that was definitely Team Claws.
I'm all about Team Claws.
Okay, so I'll get the katana.
Yeah.
so Alias
I
is
get
like,
the
you can't actually defeat me. So we're like, hey, all of our friends are here now. So using the power of friendship, we will create a weapon of incredible violence and enact that violence upon you. So Cat gets the King's Blade, and they're just gonna melt through this eyeball now.
The King's Blade is very weak stat-wise, but does 800% damage to Alias, and you can see he just gets chunked real good. And with that, we have defeated Alias and it is time for us to go rejoice. There is only one more thing we need to do, and that is to send our heroes back to their timeline. But gasp! Alias is still alive. Actually, cool fun fact from the devs themselves, that Alias is not the Alias we just killed. In fact, in the future, we're going to be getting a Cat Quest 3, and they told us that that Alias is actually an alias from another timeline. So there's some preview of whatever we're going to get in Cat Quest 3. But at this point, all we need to do is roll back to where it all began, and Kiri says, you know what, in order to stop a time paradox, we actually need to send you back to your proper timeline. That's super sad. So we're gonna have one final big group hug, and time is gonna be when the picture comes up on screen after the fade out.
Time.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Goodness. Good job. That was an absolutely fire run. I think everybody deserves to take a nice deep breath after all of that, because I was not prepared for the amount of puns in Cat Quest 2.
No one is.
Oh my goodness.
103.36 is a really solid time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. That's actually close to our record.
That's close to our PB. I think what it was a 102 like 30ish or something.
No, it was
or-
103.
see.
We had a 103.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have 103?
Yeah, we
Okay.
have a 103.
103.36.
With that beautiful crash in between, that never happened before for us. Not at that point. So
There has to be a moment with just one
has to
never
be that
before
moment.
happened.
Yeah.
Marathon luck.
Absolutely.
Did we have time to do the staring contest?
We do have the time to do this daring contest. I was gonna see if you had time for a few questions that I had, just in general.
Yeah, sure.
Should we go somewhere in the game, somewhere scenic, to have our little interview? What do you
Yes.
think?
Where do we want to go? That's
Where should
scenic?
we go? A nice little vista point, perhaps?
Cthulhu.
Oh,
Yeah, we could chill out in front of Cthulhu.
Let's go
Yes.
in front of Cthulhu and hope we don't die.
just like hang out in front of Cthulhu. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very sick.
It's up.
Yeah,
or-
sorry.
I
He's right
actually
there,
think I actually think this game is just beautiful. Like it looks so nice.
Here, there we go. You can see
This
Cthulhu
entire
without
game was
dying.
put together by the
No,
Gentle
no,
Bros.
we can just
They're
sit right
a,
down here.
3-man and 1-woman team, and all the art was done by one person. And
Oh
yeah,
my
it's beautiful.
gosh, that's incredible. All right, so now that we're here at Cthulhu, enjoying the sights, can I ask what got the two of you into speedrunning and eventually speedrunning games together, such as Cat Quest 2?
So I got interested in speedrunning because of my friend Supersonic.
Shout outs.
And Red Ninja Josh. And at first, like, I was trying to figure out what games I liked. I liked speedrunning, but I just didn't know what games fit me. And then eventually I went into Ori, and then I met him through Ori. And then we eventually, met in real life, got married. And then during that time, though, I played Cat Quest, and I loved the first game.
Yep.
And then so when the second game came out, I was just like freaking out. And
Oh
I
my
think I
gosh.
even stayed up and like played it in one night kind of deal. I did the same thing with Ori, Will the Wisp. And
Oh,
I
yeah?
was just like, okay, you gotta play this game, babe.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that there was a co-op mode.
Yeah.
And so he loved it. And so eventually I was just like, because I'm a big co-op person.
Yeah.
I love doing co-op. I love like exploration too, but that's why I like randomizers. But races and stuff, they're fun for me. I like to be more, with everybody and have fun together kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And so that's where it came from for me.
Yeah, so for me, I started watching, my first thing was watching GDQs. I had some other gaming friends. I started watching in AGDQ 2014, and then I eventually just, I followed PJ's channel, and ended up going to SGDQ 2016 and meeting a bunch of people, and then from that I was like, you know what, I really want to get into this. So I started running Ori. I had just actually beat Ori before I went to SGDQ 2016, and I got into that. And then, like she said, we ended up, finding each other, in 2017, And then I've also sped run FF13 a lot of. So I've met a bunch of great people there. But yeah, the co-op speedrunning stuff, like we really enjoy it just because it's a way for us to spend time together. And it's honestly like the stuff we've done between Ori Rando and this, excuse me, and this has just been like an absolute treat. You know, like it's so much fun.
Oh yeah. How does something like Cat Quest 2 compare to like something like Ori, like in terms of just doing it as a co-op run?
I would say like there's a lot more with randomizer because it's so randomized. You have to like coordinate in terms of like what you find where and then how to adapt to that once you do. But in Cat Quest, it's more like coordinating the fights and the routing.
Yeah.
Because like us separating is the main thing about this game is that in any percent, the dog is like basically an automated like CPU that walks around that you could switch to, and that's in the solo. But with the co-op, with 2 people, you're having that 2 people cooperation.
Yeah, both of your movements are super important, and because like the cat, she's playing off of, she's got all the major stuff. So she's doing the damage with Flame Purr, and I'm using all the utility with providing Berserk, slowing stuff with Freeze Paw, using Grav Ruff. Like, that's my job. But, like, having that coordination and playing off of each other is, like, that's what is a lot different about Cat Quest 2 than Ori Rando, where you're just providing information to each other and you're kind of playing equally, I guess, in that regard. So, yeah, that's kind of the major difference.
Well, I have to say that all of you worked so well together on this run, and miscbits, Gumjaw, it seems that you both know Cat Quest 2 very well. How long have you been running the game and like getting to know Cutie and Trojan as friends?
Fun fact, I actually downloaded this game because of one of their runs that I watched on another marathon.
Nice.
Somewhere else, and I was like, this game looks really, really fun. Because I had tried Cat Quest 1 before, and it didn't quite click, but after watching their run, I gave it a try, got back into Cat Quest 1, beat that, and then got 2, ran through it with one of my buddies, and it was just such a big blast. So, went on with the community, met Kurasa Akai, Lugo, some of the early runners, and we really kind of hashed out the route for this game, and then, obviously met Rue and Trojan directly, and it's just been such a great time, working all together with the single player route and the co-op route, and it's just such a good game. Even the devs, are very involved with the speedrun community.
Oh, I love that. What about you, miscbits?
I don't remember exactly when it was, but I got into it after I saw Kizaron run it on the first step. I was just kind of looking for like a casual, like, cute game to speedrun, and like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this looks really perfect. I joined the Discord and just like met everybody. Everyone was like super welcoming and inclusive, and I actually even just started speedrunning just in general over quarantine as like a hobby to pick up while I was stuck at home. And it's been super, super fun. Like, if anyone's like really interested in just like getting into it and starting out, like, this is a really, really fun like first game to like test the waters. And we're all in the Discord and like super welcoming as well. So feel free to stop by and join.
Oh yeah. Cutie, did you have something that you were going to add? I didn't mean to interrupt you, if so.
Oh, no, that was my bad. I wanted to let them know, like, the community was so, like, everybody was so cooperative, like, Kurasa, Gum. I know Kurasa helped with, like, the wiki with the developers and stuff, but they even created a bingo. There's even a bingo for this game.
Yeah, so if you guys like bingos, if you watch, like, Bingo-thon, I think there's been some bingo ones, like, on GDQs, like, in hotfixes. Yeah, like, we have a bingo. It's awesome. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just shows you how much the love and support of this game, just because you create different things like that.
Now, you mentioned at the end of this run, and I think there was even a teaser for it, that there is going to be a Cat Quest 3. Do you think that you'll speedrun it? Are there any details about it at all? Like,
I don't think there's any details per se.
Well, from my understanding, I know that like the devs are keeping that more hush hush on that, but not like hush hush, but like more like once like the game is available, they'll like you know what I mean? Like they'll let us know kind of thing, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't know like any details in terms of like if it's gonna be co-op again or. But
Oh,
I'm
that's fair.
assuming so, because
They're
this was
making
so.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
They've said that they're making a spin-off game first, which I think is going to be meant to like bridge some of the plot between 1 and 2, I think was the plan, and then Cat Quest 3 is going to still be like 4 or so years out. They're taking their time with that one.
Okay, cool. Now, if
But
we're
we
talking...
are interested in it.
Oh, I'm
We're
so
definitely
glad.
interested.
So I'm curious, you know, if we're talking real pets, do you have any at home? Like, is there a real mascot for Team Claws or Team Paws?
Yeah, I don't know if we have 2 cats. You can tell them. I'll see.
Yeah, we have 2 cats. They're both like about a year apart in age. One's 4, one's 5, and yeah, that's what we have. Yeah, they're awesome.
Aw.
I'll send a link. I'll send a link in the channel when we're done. But they're super cute. One's name's Yoshi, our little male, and his Jocelyn.
What was the name of the other one?
Yoshi.
Yoshi. How did you acquire such cuties?
Yoshi, I saved when I was single.
Aw.
And then Jocelyn, we saved because unfortunately her previous owners, they were an elderly couple and they were going to a home.
Aw.
And they couldn't take the cat, unfortunately. And no one else in the family or anyone else could either. It was too spread apart. And so like I felt really bad. I was like, I know that an indoor cat has to stay indoor. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So by that point, we took her in.
Well, I have to say that's very great of both of you to take her in.
Yeah.
And do you think that you would get another pet, or 2 is enough for now?
I would definitely want a dog.
Yeah, we talked about a dog at some point, but I think for now, the 2 cats is good.
But we do want a dog.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, I think we should totally settle this Team Claws, Team Paws once and for all with a little contest. What do y'all think?
Yes.
Should we do the staring contest?
That's up here, correct? Yeah.
All
yeah,
right,
that's,
so staring contest. If you guys just go south of where Alias is, there's a little
South
town
of
there called
Alias,
Northwatch. Yep. And everyone who is playing at home, this is an interactive experience. So in this game, there's a little side quest that is legitimately just a staring contest. You meet a dude who's bored on guard duty, and he asks you to do a staring contest with him. So I want you to stretch your eyes, get your eyes ready. Not that guy. South of him, some more. And
My bad.
you're gonna see a town called Northwatch, and there'll be a dude standing there.
Oh, got it.
There it is.
There it is.
There he is.
All right, so Rue and Trojan are going to do this by looking into their camera, so you can tell if they win or lose. If you are doing it at home, if you lose, I need you to post in chat when you fail. All right, this is a legit staring contest. So Rue and Trojan have never done this before, so this should be quite interesting. All this is they're just going to be mashing through text. So when I say so, they're going to start, they're going to stare at the screen, and I'll narrate what's going on. And you guys can listen for me. I'll tell you when you succeed or fail, okay?
Okay.
I can't
So-
actually
Ready?
see you, so if you lose, let me know that you've lost.
So do a countdown for us.
All right. Everybody at home ready? Rue is fighting for Team Claws. Trojan is fighting for Team Paws. If they both succeed, we will have achieved world peace. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Everyone open your eyes nice and wide. The soldier says, hey, I'm on standby. It's really boring. I want to... Oh, you need to talk to him again. I guess restart again. We'll do a restart. Kill that little llama. That llama is interrupting our staring contest. All right, everybody, refresh your eyes. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. 2 minutes. This is a 2-minute staring contest. No moving. I need you all to be staring at your camera.
I failed.
This
I
little
failed.
guy is having a hell of a time because all he does is sit here and he looks and he watches,
Yeah,
and
I'm
he's
failing.
really good at staring. I don't know how good you guys are at staring, but Rue, I heard, has got some good staring experience. Trojan, I also have heard on the grapevine. Twitter is all aglow with the fact that Trojan is super good at staring, and you can see on screen here more and more of the peasants are showing up and going, hey, what's going on here? I hear there's a staring contest. Man, I like watching staring contests. I'm going to stare at the staring contest. You know what? Me and this other guy are going to have a staring contest staring at this staring contest. That's going to be pretty cool. And if you guys think, oh, we got some loss already coming up in chat, that is unfortunate for you guys, but I think Team Paws and Team Claws are doing a pretty good job so far. We have more spectators showing up, taking a stare at this staring contest. We got 3, 4, 5 new cats watching this staring contest. I wonder who is going to win. The suspense is killing me. Oh my God, is Team Paws going to win? Is Team Claws going to win? I'm rooting for Team Paws. You know that. You've been listening to me this whole time. Team Paws is very important. But at the very last second, our boy quest giver here cheats. He calls over Kit Kat, and our Team Claws decides to look out of the way. You guys have done a good job. That's the end of the staring contest.
Trojan
Rue,
actually
Trojan,
did it.
you guys win? How did you do?
No, I failed miserably. Trojan did it.
Team Claws
It's like
has
so many
suffered a
times.
miserable defeat
now I've got a
today.
ring in my sight. God.
There's a ring in your soul.
Oh my god. I think I blinked like 2 seconds into that challenge.
Me too. I was like, I
everyone
failed
at
already.
home that succeeded in the Cat Quest 2 staring contest. Good
Oh
job.
my
I've seen the
God.
ring.
Very well done, everybody. Cutie, Trojan, do you have anything you'd like to add before we wrap it up here? Any shout outs or anything?
I mean, just really like shout outs to like Gumjaw and Miscbits for awesome commentary. You know, we did some practice beforehand. Like they've absolutely killed it like during this whole time, especially with, you know, having the Team Paws and Team Claws stuff in there. And, you know, shout outs to, you know, all of our friends that we've met through speedrunning, you know, and we've got to be able to do several, you know, marathons together. And so it's been just, speedrunning is a wonderful experience and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, you have anything to add? Yeah.
I just want to thank you guys always for having us. It's always a pleasure. Also, Red Bull for having the West Coast weekend. Everything else, and just we're super thankful always.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Now, if we were going to find you, whose channel do you stream on more, Cuties or Trojans?
Lately it's
Yes,
been me.
yeah.
So I've been streaming way more though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cutieroo SR.
Yes, so
On Twitch.
please, if you did enjoy the run, make sure you follow that Twitch channel, twitch.tv, cutieroo SR, and Trojan Dudes is trojandude 12 if you decide to stream again on that channel, as well as our commentators today, Miscbits and Gumjaw. Thank you all so much. We'll be right back with Secret Agent Barbie, the Royal Jewels mission, so don't go away.